to the old days. Pilot, do you know how long ago that was? It was 21 years ago, which makes me like 23. That's right, that's right. So how you guys doing today? Yeah! Y'all in Texas is in the house. What's up, y'all? Yeah! Now, were you all born and raised here in McAllen, Texas?
Yeah. Yes.
How many schools are there in McAllen?
A bunch.
High schools.
Three high schools.
Three high schools.
Mike High, Nicky Rowe, and
Memorial.
All right.
Mike High is the longest from 1908.
there's another city that's on mission, but I went to Cherryland.
Oh, all right.
Don't mention.
Sherryland, that sounds like a fun place to
You guys
visit.
can tell stories.
No.
Sherryland, that sounds like a. Do they have roller coasters there? Sherryland.
No.
It's like
It's the opposite.
Disneyland or Sherryland.
Oh my God.
All right, so
Why did they have to do that?
so you know who I am. My name is Walter Emmanuel Jones.
Yeah.
Hey, my mother gave me that name. She did. She wanted to name me Antoine Marquise. Right. My dad's name is Walter Emmanuel Jones, so I ended up, they named me after him.
Junior, you guys look alike.
I do. I look like my dad, but he's a little taller than me. He's taller than me and older than me, which is good because if he wasn't, that would be weird. Now, so I'm born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I left Detroit because I got a scholarship to go to college in California. So I went to California, and I was like, wow, this place is different. There's mountains. There's, Detroit is a predominantly black city, predominantly black. So when I got to California, I understood why they called me a minority. I was like, where are a lot of black people? Okay, and so it was interesting. I got out there and I went to college, and then I went to Hollywood. And the first television show job I booked was the Power Rangers. So fortunate for me, and it's funny because we did the pilot, and I took it home to my family. I was like, yeah, I booked the TV show. We're gonna do 40 episodes. I'm a superhero. It's cool. And then I saw the pilot, and I was like, okay, well, this is cool. And I took it home and I showed it to my family, and they were like, that's a nice show. It's a nice stepping stone for you. It'll be good. It's gonna help you on your way. And all of a sudden, like a year later, the show came out, and the toys were selling off the shelves, and it was the #1 kids show in the world, in 40 countries around the world. And then they were like, "That's my cousin. That's my nephew. That's right. That's my son right there. He's the Power Ranger, the Black Ranger. That's who he is. Yeah. Zack. That's it. That's what they call him." And it was awesome. It was like, wow, everybody's so excited, and I couldn't go to the bathroom anymore because people were like, "Yo, Zack!" I was like, "Man, put that away." It's crazy. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, the Power Rangers was a pretty amazing experience for me because I'm a friendly person anyway. I like people. I like talking to people. I like making people laugh. I'm energetic and bouncy. And I, if you make somebody smile, it makes you smile. So I enjoy making people smile, and I've always been kind of like the class clown. So, Power Rangers for me turned into this amazing thing because it was like, wow. So now I can be me and make people 3 times as happy because they meet me and they're like, "Hey, excuse me, Mr. Jones." I'm like, "What's up, man? You're cool." And I'm like, that's awesome. It makes me happy to be able to make other people happy with so little effort. It's like I feel the fame for me feels like popularity in a way. I mean, like it feels like I can go anywhere and I'll know somebody, or somebody's gonna know me. Right? Somebody's gonna be like, "Dude, hey, I got you. Come here. Come over here, man. I want to introduce you." So I'm gonna meet people wherever I go, which is cool, and it's nice. For a minute, it got a little overwhelming. I think when the show first came out, it was too much. You guys, parents, were crazy. Just like because maybe if some of you guys are parents now, and if you're a parent, then you know that you will do almost anything for your child. Now, imagine, if you will, that your son or your daughter is going, "I have to have a Power Rangers. I want the Megazord. I want a Power Ranger, right? They're excited about it. They have to have one. They have to have one. And you go to the store and you wait 3 hours and they sell out, and you can't get it. And you're like, you gotta go home, and your son's like, you went to Toys R Us, and you come home to the Power Ranger, and you're like, they sold out, and you're like, he's like, I hate you. Right? So your parents were crazy. Your parents were like, when they saw me, they went off. They were like, you, come here. I need you. You have to sign 8 autographs for my nieces and my nephews. And I have 2 cousins, the neighbor's niece, so hey. And I was like, wow, okay. And then, like, so I'd go to have dinner, and I would have a line of people, like 20 people waiting for me to finish my burger. Like, hey, Zack, after you finish that bite, can I get an autograph? Man, it's just, you know, my son, I gotta get something for my son. So I was like, for a little while, I became a little reclusive. I was like, okay, I started wearing hats and the dark glasses. I was like, okay, don't look at me, don't look at me. It was weird. Well, I still get recognized daily, but it's not anywhere like it used to be. Like I said, your parents were crazy because they needed to be. They were like, they couldn't get the toys, they had to do something, and they saw me, they were crazy. I had parents come over, at the time I was dating a girl, and you know, I'm like, we walk into a spot, I'm holding onto her hand, and we're all cute and cuddly, and I had a mother come over and snatch my hand out of her, push her out of the way, and go, come over here, I gotta get a picture. And I'm like, hey, I'm living my life right here, what are you doing? I like her. What are you doing? Smell your roll, you know? But now, it's amazing because you guys are the kids, and you've grown up. And it's awesome because it's a different kind of love. It's not manic and crazy, like, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it. It's like, it's so respectful, it's so nice. You guys are like, man, you don't know what you did for me in my life. You don't know how you inspired me to dance or to be a martial artist or the things I learned from the show. You know, like I learned all these different lessons and I followed that. I became a Marine, or I became a scientist, or I became, you know, I met a guy that was a rocket engineer. He's like, I'm a rocket engineer because of you and Billy. I'm like, that's cool. How did that work? I don't know. I understand Billy, but where does that get you into the, you know? But it's still cool. It's like just to be positive in anybody's life, and is amazing. You know, I mean, like, people ask us all the time, what is like what is like the coolest experience you've had? It's one of the one of the most common questions we get, like, what's the feeling like? What is one of the things you can say that was awesome about it? And we've done a number of appearances where we go and we meet people, but one of the things we did that was really, really cool is we went and did a charity called Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's for terminally ill children, okay? And we went to this hospital, all the Rangers, and there were kids, you know, with cancer, you know, burns over 90% of their body. You know, they're waking up every day in pain, they're suffering through chemotherapy. You know, they're not happy kids. They're kids, and they're trying to get through stuff, but they're having a really hard time. And we went to the hospital, and the nurses took us to this one room, and they were like, this is, I can't remember his name, but this kid, he's got burns all over his body. He was in an accident, he's burned over his body, and every day is painful for him, because he wakes up every day, and he's in pain, and you know, he just gets through the day, but he hasn't smiled since he's been here. And we were like, okay, well, cool, let's go meet him. He's like, one of his wishes is to meet the Power Rangers. So we go into the room, and he's like kind of sleeping, and they touch him, they wake him up. Hey, we got a surprise for you. And he looks over and he sees us, and the biggest smile comes across his face. And that sticks with me as like one of the most amazing gifts. You know what I mean? It's like, we didn't have to do anything. We just had to like sit there and like hold our helmets and look at him and go, hey. And he was like, you know, it made him happy. And if we can do that, to be able to do that for a moment in his life when he's going through such a hard time is amazing to me. And that's one of the biggest gifts that this show has given to me. I mean, here we are 21 years later, and I'm only 23. And, you know, and we still got so much love. I mean, here I am in McAllen, Texas. I never knew I was going to It's awesome and exciting, and I'm glad to be here. So, with all that being said, if you have any questions, please step up to the mic. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
My name is Vidente Barrera.
Ah, say that again?
Fidencio Barrera.
Now say it 3 times.
Fidencio Barrera, Fidencio Barrera, Fidencio Barrera.
You're a better man than me.
I have actually 2 questions.
All right.
The first one is, I've asked this to David Yost and
Catherine Sutherland? Okay.
yeah. I have to say, did you watch the Sentai version of Power Rangers, which is Koryu Sentai's Zyuranger?
Wow, he's really good with accents. I did not. Okay, so the thing about it is I never knew about Power Rangers before we got into the show. So I didn't know what it was. It was called Dino Thunder at the time. It was Dino Rangers or Dino Thunder or something. And that was what they titled the show. I didn't know this show had run for 20 years in Japan before it come here. We learned after we booked the show, we had filmed it, that there was a show before us, and it was based off the Japanese show. We knew that Saban had taken half of he had bought the show in Japan, and he was taking half of the show from Japan and mixing it with half of the show we were shooting in the States to combine it into one show. I was like, wow, that was really smart of him to do. You know, because now he's bought the show, he only has to shoot half the footage, and you know, it's interesting. I think they showed us an episode or a bit of it somewhere in the first season or right before the first season. That was all that I ever saw, and I haven't really sought it out to see it anymore after the fact. But what I understand is that the Japanese version is crazy. They do some wild stuff. Like I heard there was one episode where one of the monsters actually pees on the Rangers, which is different. That's different. I don't think I would want to be in that episode. I'm like, can I pass on this?
It's actually well known that in
The wrong website.
and actually it's well known that in one of the previous Sentai seasons called Battle Fever J,
Yes.
the Black Ranger known as Battle Cossack was killed.
Oh, dang. I
And,
was in that episode.
And the first Pink Ranger, Miss America, was injured so badly she had to be retired and had a new one had to be brought in.
See, they're hardcore in Japan. They're like, get him out of here.
Now the second question, were there any difficulties in filming the cockpit scenes?
We did not do many of the cockpit scenes. It wasn't difficult, by the way.
Well-
Movie magic. All right, so this is my dinosaur, right? I'm in the Mastodon right now. They're filming it. Ready, action. Zack here, ready to rock. Cut. It wasn't difficult. We're just basically in a box, in a room or whatever, with a seat and a desk, and it's covered and painted to look like we're in the Zord. But, you know, it would have been really cool to actually be in a Zord. That'd have been like, man, I'm in the Mastodon right now, what? Man, look at that. People look really small. Don't step on them.
Thank you very much.
All right, man, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
I saw you earlier.
I was asking a question. I wanted to ask about Richard.
Yes.
I met him before. He's really funny. Like whenever he's doing a panel or he's talking to people, he's like really funny. It's just like you're really entertaining. Some people they're really boring in panels, but like you're like a Richard, like really entertaining and fun. So
Richard who?
like Alpha.
Oh, Alpha, yes.
Was he like fun to work with?
Oh yeah. He's great. I mean, he's a very funny guy, and the voice of Alpha, we didn't see him that much because while we were filming on the set, filming the live action stuff, he's upstairs in the booth, not with us, doing the voice, and he's only voiceover. You don't have to work as hard. Meaning,
He was never in the suit.
he's never in the suit, no. There was a woman, there was a girl named, 2 girls in the Alpha 5 suit. One, her name was Romy Sharp, and she had big boobs. I just remember that. Not only because I like boobs, but because she had to take ace bandages and strap them down so she could get in the suit. So it was like, she was not very comfortable. And we're in the command center all day, and she would be like, can I take a pic? You know? But she was a really sweet girl, very tiny, and yeah, she wasn't doing the voice. In fact, when we did the command center scenes and Alpha 5 had to speak, it came from off the side, off by the script supervisor. She would just read the line, because the actor in the suit didn't know. Well, they didn't say the lines, or they would say the lines, but it was more about the physicality. You know, we're gonna do Alpha 5 does this, and you know, whatever. It was like that. But Richard's very funny. I got to know him a lot more now than I did then because we didn't really see them. We weren't working in the same place all the time.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Hello.
Ruben from earlier.
Yes.
I have a couple questions. What was it? How was it like working on back in 2004 with I Love the 90s?
That was fun. That was really interesting because I've been away from the Rangers for quite some time at that point. 2004, that was like 10 years. It had been almost, I left in like 95 or 95. So it had been 9 years, and I'd done a few. Me and Austin did the Lost episode thing, and I think we did something else at Christmas, something. But I had done a lot with Rangers, and I got called in to do that show, and I liked it because I'd seen it before. I love the 80s or whatever. I love the 90s, and I felt privileged to be making a commentary on something that was, an earmark of a decade and that I was part of. So it was really cool to be the representative of us all to appear on that show and talk about it and, make fun of it and just have fun with it,
And second thing, last year, for the Power Rangers 20th anniversary, Team Nick had a block, had the 90s block on. It was on Team Nick. They had 20-something episodes of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers all weekend. Were you aware of that?
Was aware that they were showing the Power Rangers in a block on Nickelodeon? I think I was. I did not watch it, but I know that it was there. They have different. They've had a couple of different. What do you call them? Where they show all the episodes and things. Marathons. Thank you. That's the word. Bingo. They've had a few different marathons, and I think that's cool because again, it makes the show new to people that didn't get to see the originals, and to see go from the beginning to where it is now. It's crazy. I mean, how many episodes are there? There's like
767, give or take.
Thank you. He's my calculator.
I watched all of them this month.
He said he watched all of them this month.
In 31 days.
And so how long do you go to? Did you go to the bathroom?
I watched like.
He's like, pause. He's like, take a second. He's like, get him, Rita! 3 seasons a week. Wow, he's dedicated. I love that. I've never been that dedicated to anything, so I commend you, my friend. That's awesome. Yes, next question.
Hey, Walter.
Hello, my friend.
Okay, well, I want to ask this too. Okay, one short one, one pretty decent.
Is everybody going to ask 2 questions or just the 1 question?
Sorry. Well, first, just really quick, how did you feel to have your own, yourself, hey, that's me in a toy? How'd you feel?
That was cool because I was in Venice Beach, and I was walking down Venice Beach with some friends of mine. The show had not aired yet. We'd done the pilot, and the show had not aired, and some kids ran up to me and were like, "Dude, hey man, aren't you the Black Ranger?" And I was like, yeah. I'm like, how did you know that? They're like, "I just bought your toy yesterday, and your face is on the box." And I was like, "My face is on the box?" Like, yeah. I was like, "Wow, my face is on the box." I was telling them, my friends. My friends were like, What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, the show I did, they got toys, and my face is on the box." So, okay. I was like, that was cool. So it was really cool, and it's also pretty awesome now to be 21 years later looking at that same box with my face on the box. That is so cool. I'm like, I got a toy. I got a toy that represents me and my character, which is awesome. I think that personally a big reason why Power Rangers is so popular today is because not only did you guys watch the show, but you played us as kids, so you grew relationships with your family or your friends according to the show. You were, also holding each other up to a standard. Hey man, you can't be a Power Ranger if you act like that, right? You know, so it was like, it was cool. It was a game you played. It was the show you watched, and you know, it's pretty amazing. That's why when I've done a lot of other work. I've been working as an actor for like 20 years. I've done everything from Moesha to CSI to NYPD Blue, The Shield, the movies, you know, Brink, Disney, non-limited shows, you know, different stuff. But nothing has surpassed the popularity of Power Rangers. And I think, I don't know that anything will unless I become, you know, the next Iron Man. And I think that job's already been taken.
And finally, out of all the episodes you've been in, what's your favorite episode?
Favorite episode, get that a lot. It varies. I did 85 episodes, so and I'm not one to have favorites. I have a group of favorites. You know, I liked obviously the ones that were surrounding my character. You know, Zack's birthday, Putty on the Brain. Those are like some of my favorites. But I also loved Food Fight, and I loved like anytime we got to fight. Anytime we got to fight, like us, like Zack got to fight in the park or fight at the playground or that stuff. I love those days.
My favorite episode is the one like with the statue when it's just you and Tommy to save the day. That
Yes.
was awesome. That was my favorite episode.
Thanks, man. That's
Yes,
awesome.
thank
nice
you.
to meet you.
Thanks.
Hi, little one. How are you?
Oh, there you go. She's done this before.
Good.
Good. You did a great. Hold on. What can I do for you, darling?
What's your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero? Me! I think actually my favorite superhero is Superman. I've always wanted to be able to fly. I used to dream about it when I was a kid. In my dreams, I would like take 3 steps and I'd run and I'd jump. And you know, it's funny because in the beginning I would jump, and as a kid, it's like your age, I would fly. But I wouldn't fly very high. I was scared of going too high. I'd fly around trees, and then I would tell my friends, hey, look, I can fly. And I would tell them, this is happening in my dream. I can fly. And I go, watch, 1, 2, 3, and I go, shoot. And they were like, you're stupid. No, I really did. Like, you should have been here 10 minutes ago. They whatever, and they walk away, and I tried again, and I would start flying around again. I was like, man, how come it never happens when I tell people? Eventually, as I got older, I continued to have that dream. And I started being able to share with my friends, and I teach them to fly. We go up in the sky, and fly away, and I don't know what that means psychologically, but it was cool. I'm fine. Yeah, life is good. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Clarice.
I was always a black text. I was always a Black Ranger growing up with the family.
Nice.
Because I'm talking to
Yes.
Was it your idea for the dancing, or did they need someone to dance for that?
They brought Keto.
Yes.
There you
When
go.
they had the audition for my character, for Zachary Taylor, they were looking for someone that could dance and that could put together that style of fighting. So I think Zach's probably one of the most original characters because of that, because he had a fighting style that was different from everybody. I was the only person that, when we choreographed fights, the stunt coordinator couldn't tell me what to do. He couldn't go, okay, so now you're gonna do this, and throw a punch. You know, it's like, okay, so what are you gonna do? You know, like that. Whereas everybody else, you kind of go, all right, so you're gonna throw this kick, you're gonna do this kick here to hit that guy, whatever. And he could help me a little bit, but I had to put dance stuff in the middle of it, and I had to make it make sense. So, you know, that was interesting. It was like, okay, so I had to figure it out. So for the audition, what they did, they said, hey, all right, so can you do martial arts? Yeah, let's show us something. So I did some martial arts, yeah, some kicks and punches. And can you do gymnastics? Yeah, I can do that. So I did a backflip, boom, right? They said, can you dance? I'm like, yeah, well, here's some music. Let's see what you got. Boom, put on some hip hop music, I dance. And they said, now, can you put it all together? And I went, okay, let's figure it out. So I started dancing, doing some punches, some kicks, finished off with a back slide, landed a karate stance, and they're like, good job. And you know, that is, I think, the fact that I was able to do that, not as well as the fact that I was an amazing actor. And I think it helped me to get the role. So the audition was for Zachary Taylor. It wasn't for the Black Ranger. A lot of people go, why'd they make you the Black Ranger? I really wasn't mad about that. But, you know, I didn't, people go, did you pick him? Did you pick the Black Ranger? Like, no, I didn't know which one I was going to be. I don't think they knew. I think what they said is when they picked the characters, when they picked the Rangers, half of it was Japanese footage, and the Red Ranger and the Black Rangers always seemed to be together, and the Blue Ranger was kind of doing his own thing, right? And then the Yellow Ranger and the Red Ranger were together. I mean, the Yellow Ranger and the Pink Ranger were always together, the girls. So when they attached it to the script, when the writers were writing it, they said, okay, so we'll make the Red Ranger and the Black Ranger best friends. So who am I going to be? Am I going to be the leader? Not at that time, right? I'm going to be the best friend to the leader. So I ended up being Zack, who was the Black Ranger, and the Red Ranger was the leader, and the Blue Ranger was the smart guy.
That explains why you guys are always training.
Right, why we're always training together, right. So it was like it all made sense.
Can we take a selfie? Would that be fine? With all of us?
Do what?
Quick selfie.
A selfie? Yeah, we do.
All of
You
us.
have to tweet it though. Let's see.
Selfie.
Yeah, I do have to cut out there. Oh. Everybody put your hands up. What's up?
There you go.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Instagram Twitter. Thanks for each one. Post it. Yes.
Yeah, what up? My name's Pedro. My question is, after you left Power Rangers, like, did you go into movies, acting, anything?
After I left Power Rangers, I think I did Sabrina Teenage Witch, I did Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I did some other shows, guest starring. Parenthood, I did a few other shows, and then I booked a show for Nickelodeon, Space Cases, and I played the role of Harlan Bam. The Space Cases was kind of a Star Trek for kids, and I was Captain Kirk. Yeah, I just didn't talk like that. I was the only human of a school of aliens, and we were on a ship lost in space, so to speak, and I was the captain, you know, because the ship logged us on as the crew, and logged our teachers and a former captain on as the passengers, so they couldn't make the ship go, only we could make the ship go, and I was the head guy, so that was fun. I did that, and then I did a show for Malibu, Aaron Spelling, and this has been working for 20 years. My resume is on IMDb.
Quick question.
Yes.
Since you're Omnicon, do you love anime, manga, anything?
You know what? I've grown to know anime a lot more because I didn't really know much about anime. I've seen a few things, and I've always found it to be entertaining, but I didn't follow it hardcore, you know. But I do a lot of these conventions, and I've met a lot of people, and I'm like curious, like, who's that? What character is that? You know, so I've learned a lot more about it. Manga, what is manga?
Japanese comic.
Japanese comic books. Okay, yeah, I haven't followed that wholeheartedly, but I appreciate everything that I see at the cons. I think the people here that are inspired by science fiction, inspired by anime, and so forth and so on, it's all creative, it's all fun, and I love that. I mean, like, you don't come to Comic-Cons and find people fighting. You know, it's like, unless they're like sparring, you know, like, okay, they're like sparring with their weapons. It's like this fantasy place where you can come and just be whoever you want to be and just have fun, and it's like a getaway. I love that. So I'm a fan of what makes people happy.
Thanks.
John, I just want to say I'm very happy to meet you, and my question is, other than the helmet, any other props that you kept from the show?
You know what? The helmet is actually a replica. It's not my own helmet from the show. I have in my possession a few things. I have the juice bar sign from the juice bar. The neon sign, which is pretty cool. It's broken. I gotta get it fixed. But I have it. I keep going. One day I'm gonna hang that up in my house. I just gotta do it. I have the skateboard from the pilot. You know, when I rode in, I was like, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? So I didn't plan like other people did and walk away with like a suit, because they weren't giving it to us. If the people that have the original suits or have the original helmet, they stole it. And that's not a good thing. So, whatever. I may have done it eventually, because it was like, come on, man, y'all ain't gonna give it to me? I'm taking it home. But yeah, so it is what it is. Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Howdy.
I know that.
I have no questions, but I just want to say you're awesome. And
Hey,
can you
man.
do the City of McAllen a favor? Can you say Mastodon, Lion, and Thunder Sword Power? Like, awesome. Can you do that?
Aha! Mastodon, Lion, Thunder.
Oh, I'm sad.
Well, okay. Mastodon, Lion, Thunder, Sword Power, awesome!
It was a pleasure meeting you.
I just here. Hey, man. What's up, Iron?
Hi. I did. Just asked most of them a while back. Is the first time trying the suit, did you like it or were you like, no?
First time trying on the suit, I was like, what should I be wearing under this? I'm fairly bumpy right now. And it's cold. You know, we put on the suit and we would go out in the morning to the park to go, you know, do a fight or do something. And the first thing you notice is that the air goes right through the suit. And that's not very comfortable. And then later on in the day when the sun comes out and you're wearing a black suit. Yeah, that's fun. That's kind of hot. Yeah. Then you're happy for any air that comes out at all. You're like, give me air, I need a fan. But the suits were, I mean, it's a one piece, you know, so you need somebody to unzip it so you can go to the bathroom. There's a number of things that probably are not the most, you know, comfortable things to do about the suit, but I thought it would look good. It was cool. It was cool, man. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure you're welcome.
Hello. Besides dancing, I've noticed that one episode that you were singing with Amy Jo Johnson with a duet.
Yes, we did.
And have you ever done any performances or performed in particular?
As a singer, I actually had a recording contract for a little bit, singing religious music, which was kind of cool for kids. I was pursuing a recording contract for a while. I used to sing a lot more. I have a degree in musical theater, so I sing, dance, act, you know, like the whole thing. I've done lots of shows. I've been the lead singer of the band. I was on Star Search as a singer. My voice has changed. I got vocal notes from working too hard, and so it changed. So now I try to hit high notes, and it sounds like 3 notes at one time. It's kind of crazy. It's the weirdest thing to be able to sing, to know that you can hit a note and then try to hit it, and it's a completely different note. It's odd. But I still sing. I can still sing, but I don't sing as well as I used to. I don't have the range as much as I used to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
The only thing I want to know is if you can do the whole Zord thing again. So you did 10 minutes ago. That
The
was awesome.
Zord thing? What is that?
You just did it 10 minutes ago where you did the whole...
Oh, the whole
the
Zord
whole-
thing? That you
When you talked about Richard,
Oh, yeah,
you did that.
yeah.
You showed us how you said, oh, it's just a big
You want
old...
me to do it again?
Yes.
That's like a rerun. Yeah. This is another DVR. He's like, you want me to just say it's one for time, or what do we do?
Well, what you did 10 minutes ago, you just did the whole, Zack, this is kick it.
Oh yeah, Zack here, ready to kick it. It's all like, I'm really doing this again. All right, so yes, the morph, the seat, the chair, the microphone. Zack here, ready to rock. Hello.
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 So my question is, when you were filming the scenes with the putties, did you ever get too into character where like you might have been a little too aggressive fighting?
Well, we'd have to ask some of the putties about that. Actually, they were, I mean, it's not a perfect science. We didn't get a lot of time to rehearse. Like on television, things go a lot faster. In film, you get a fight scene. You get like a couple of weeks to practice it, right? You get to get it down, so the time is perfect. We were more like, okay, so we're gonna do this fight scene. We got a half hour, so that's to choreograph it and shoot it. Okay, so it's like, all right, 2 putties. I need 2 putties here. Give me 1 back. You throw a punch. I'm gonna duck here. And I'm gonna hit you with the right hand. I'm gonna turn around and kick this guy with the right foot. And you go down. When you go down, I'm gonna flip over you, and then you come over. I'll trip you over him. And it's like this kind of crazy thing. And so it wasn't always perfect. Sometimes the putty would throw a punch, and you were like, oh, I forgot to block that one. and they would stop themselves because they're stunt guys. So they're like, and be like, all right, cut. I'm like, dang, I missed it. Or sometimes, like there was one time, we had this fight, and I was supposed to take a putty to the ground, right? Take him to the ground, I give him a punch in the stomach, boom! And he goes, ugh! And his face comes up, and I hit him in the face, he goes back down. So he goes, ugh, ugh, right? And he came up too high. So I was like, boom! He came up, and I went, ta! And all I saw him do was like, I just saw him go, oh! And he wasn't going, anymore. And so you can't see his face under the mask. And I knew who he was. He was, he was one of the stunt guys. He was a nice guy. I was like, oh, and I know I hit him. I hit him good because he came up too high. I punched too hard or something, and we just connected. Like he threw his face into my fist. I was like, man, you're not supposed to do that, But and I looked up at the director and the DP, the director of photography, and they're like, keep going. And he's like on the ground, like, with hands going across his face with the big old putty hand. And I'm like, why is the putty crying? This is weird. I don't know how to do this. What do you do? The putties never cry, they just melt or something. I don't know. I'm like, what is going on? So I finished the fight. This guy stayed on the ground. He didn't get up. Usually the putties get up and they move, you beat them up and then they disappear, but he stayed right there. And they finally said, cut. And I was like, dude, are you okay? And they took his mask off. I broke his nose. Oh. He was like, oh, I was like, oh man, you came up too high. You punched too hard. Let's say the bar is somewhere in the middle. Let's fix that nose right now. It's like, that's the thing about being a stunt guy, is like you take chances, and a lot of the stunt guys would be like, no, go ahead and hit me. Like I throw a kick, and as a martial arts artist, you're trained to measure your punches and kicks. You either hit like 1 inch or 6 inches away. A lot of things when you choreograph a fight, you don't actually have to hit. You can like swing by, and it looks like you hit something, and they'll add effects in post. Yeah, sometimes we miss, or sometimes we get hit or kicked. I got hit and kicked too, and like I said, a lot of times the stunt guys are like, no, go ahead, give me a good kick because I want to be able to react. Because we kick them and they go, they fly back. So if I throw the kick, and it's like he does, and then he reacts later. It's like I throw the kick and he goes, like, but after I've already thrown the kick, so he wants me to tap him so he can react to it. So anyway, that was one of the most challenging and fun parts about being a Power Rangers is doing the fights, and if you've never had an experience to spar against multiple partners, multiple people, it's pretty interesting because your adrenaline is pumped up because you're like you are being attacked, and especially for it not to be out of practice, you're also using your reflexes. So I have pretty quick reflexes. So when somebody throws a punch or a kick at me, I'm pretty likely to block it pretty quick. Pop, 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 and strike back. So it's like it was training. So I was like blocking, evading, getting hit, and then throwing punches to attack at the same time. And that was a lot of fun. It iced me up just thinking about it. I'm like, whoa! Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
What's going on right now?
If you could do it all over again, would you do it as the Black Ranger or would you want a different role?
No, I would be the Black Ranger, yeah, for sure. I just wish the Black Ranger had more. Check 1, 2. Yeah. I just wish the Black Ranger would have been written better. Meaning, like the Green Ranger was the best written Ranger. I mean, come on. He came on as an enemy to us. Then we fought against him. He was a worthy adversary. Then he joined the team. Then he became like the White Ranger, and he had his own Zord. It was like he was the best written one. He had all this cool stuff. It was like it's like mom having a favorite kid. It's like, come on, mom, I want some toys too. So, the Black Ranger was awesome. I love the Black Ranger. I love the Mastodon. I love the Power Axe. Yes, sir, the Power Axe. But I wish that I would have had more. I wish I could have been bad. That would have been cool. I wish I could have been like an adversary and then turn back to good, that kind of thing. I just wish the Black Ranger would have had more stuff written for him. Yeah, the frog. There's frogs are exciting. Keep the Mastodon, actually. Mastodon lines. I like that. I'm down with that. Anyway.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Damn, what's up?
What's up, man? Nice.
Hey, what's up?
There you go.
One thing, I can't believe you're down here in the valley. I never thought you would come down here.
Right.
And how was it working with the actors of Bulk and Skull?
Man, those guys are incredible. They're very, very talented, very, very funny. In the pilot, they were very different. Bulk was mean. He was meaner. He wasn't as goofy and funny scary. He was meaner. He was a bully, like a straight up bully, which made us be more like, man, you better back up. As the show progressed, we became more like, Bulk, come on. You're gonna lose, what are you gonna do? And it was like, we get upset with him, and it was like, it always ended up that he'd be funny because he would try to do something he couldn't do, and then he'd mess up and have food all over his face. Him and Skull together, they had this chemistry that was pretty amazing. I mean, those guys are excellent actors and very funny, and they were great to work with. Just like always professional, always on time, knowing what they were going to do, and full of laughter. Like they kept us laughing. So they're awesome. I see them now a lot. We do a lot of conventions, and anytime I see them, it's like old home. It's like if they were sitting right next to me right now, they would be doing crazy stuff next to me and completely steal the show. I'd be like, could y'all stop it? Could you just sit down? Sit down. Sit down. But they're very, very funny, talented dudes, and I love the fact that they're my friends.
Thanks.
What's up, man?
I heard that on...
2 more minutes? 2 more minutes. Okay.
I heard that on the Japanese show, the Yellow Ranger was actually a boy.
Dude. He was a dude.
Yeah. So how
Dudes
was
were
that?
yellow in Japan.
So how was that merging it over?
It was weird. It was like, okay, today's definitely a girl. But they made it work out. I don't think a lot of times people noticed that there was in the Japanese footage a dude, because you can't tell. It's like it was somebody skinny in the yellow suit with the helmet. So there you go. But to know that it was a dude is like interesting. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be the last question.
Thank you.
I'd like to share with you that I also support you in your positive energy.
Yes.
You give out to people. I personally have that too, so I kind of connect with that. And also, my girlfriend Brianna's shy, but she wanted me to ask you if, so this day, does any of your family be like, hey, it's Black Power Ranger, hey, it's Power Ranger?
About me?
Yes.
It's funny, my family's like, they're all very proud of me. My dad is my biggest fan. He's like, hey, my son's a Black Ranger. He's big, huge fans of me and very supportive. But most of my family's like, it's just Walter. I've always been the same character, and they've always said to me, you're gonna grow up one day, you're gonna be one of those actors or something, because you're that kind of guy. You're like funny and energetic, and you never sit down, that kind of thing. mostly they're just like, you know, happy and supportive. Like I'll be out with them or my family or somebody and I get recognized and it just kind of makes them happy to see how happy I make people. Do you know what I mean? They're like, great. That's because, you know, nice to meet you. I want to do something. I know you guys asked me to do the selfie, right? I want to do a selfie. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Actually, I'm gonna do a quick video. I want you guys to do something for me right now. We're gonna do a little chant, right? We're gonna go, we're gonna do this. I almost had a rap contract, and there was a rap that I was gonna do. It was called The Black Ranger. And it would have been cool if it would have came out, right? But the chorus went like this. It went, it's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. So I'm gonna say that. You guys say the Black Ranger, okay? So let's try it one time. Ready? It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. Cool. So I want to see if I can get my man to film from. Get them in. Y'all ready? Alright, we'll get to the edge. Alright, here we go. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, what? The Black Ranger. It's the Ranger, who? The Black Ranger. That's right. Thank you, McAllen. You guys are awesome. If you haven't come to see me in my booth, come on down. I'd love to see you and meet you. Come and get an autograph or photo. Tell your friends to come out tomorrow so we get to meet them too, all right? Thanks so much for being here, guys.